Hey, that's right. This is Leon Phelps here. Always make sure you clean up your mess after you get wet and dirty. Scrape up any residual.
Wipe off the spooge.
Take a second glance around and make sure that you didn't leave anything that you didn't mean to leave behind. Once it kicks, we'll hot coat it, and we're ready to sand it and ride it. Cool. Oh.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome to Build Your Own Stand-Up Paddleboard with James.
And Mike.
Here we are again. Here we are again. Oh, we're back to the fins. After the fins have cured, we skipped a step. Once the fins gelled, I trimmed off most of the excess, but what I'm doing here is grinding down the fills and fairing in the layups on the bases. Yeah, I'm using a hard pad here with about, I think 36 grit, 40 grit, something in that range.
Yeah, I noticed the colors of the discs you were using. Like you had a white one and that one, and
yeah, the different grades of density to the pad. You know, all grinding's done with a hard pad because it tears. You know, the softer stuff is more for the finer grits, polishing out. Just cleaning up my edges, getting everything nice and clean. Like I said before, get everything clean. The next step goes nice and smooth. Get these fins cleaned up good. The hot coat's gonna lay up good. The hot coat lays up good. Less sanding for the sander.
you know what I noticed? No matter what you do, you still can't get away from doing some hand sanding.
No, there's a lot of hand sanding that goes on. I hand sanded a whole bunch today on a board.
Cool.
Sometimes, like I said before, in this heat, man, the hot coat's not laying right, and
it just has to happen.
It has to happen. It's no fun. That's why I got those machines. I like using my machine.
So stay in line. Stay in line.
So is it wise to do this outdoors? Because the reason I wanted to get with you guys is so I didn't have to try glassing the board outside.
Glassing outside is not the best situation. There's too many variables in the elements. You got the wind, you got bugs, you got dirt flying around. If you have an environment, that's the best situation. A closed environment with some ventilation. Even a little pop-up tent or something. Throw out some tarps just to control it a little bit. Yeah. And lighting too is very important.
Unless you want to preserve some bugs forever in your board, though.
Yeah. They somehow like that stuff, man. They fly in.
They were swarming. When I did my paddles, they were swarming. They
must like the sweet smell or the look to it. I don't know what it is. Here I'm taping off for my hot coat. We did the deck hot coat earlier. It goes all the way to the bottom, then we grind it flat. Here we want to tape it off so there's a nice crisp line. When we go to sand it, we got a line to sand it out. A bunch of drips are running down the other side of the board. But as you can see, our 2-inch tape ain't gonna make its way up 1 inch. We got 2 inch. We're gonna have to double it up, but we want it to drip off the edge. Here's a little technique trick. Keep it off from the board.
Tape balls.
Tape, paper. All works.
You can be the person you want to be. So stay in line.
The only reason we're using 1-inch tape, I would have preferred 2, but I didn't have to. I mean, it ran out that day. And it's important when the tape you want to use a good quality tape. Excuse me, this is a 3M 233, high heat resistant. No, doesn't leave residual glue behind.
I've had problems with tape and fiberglass.
Yeah, you gotta use a high quality tape.
I see. I saw. High quality.
You know, you gotta be sparing with it too, because that stuff's about $10 a roll.
Ooh.
And even more other places. I might have been throwing out the wholesale price. Probably shouldn't have said that.
Actually, I don't know if you could find it at the local hardware store. Then.
No, you probably couldn't.
What's it called?
3M 233.
233. Alright, if you're watching that, make notes.
Yeah, you gotta get creative. Little tape art. Tapegami.
Tapegami, yeah.
What's that red board over there? Oh, looks like a...
Looks like a new Stoke creation.
Yeah, looks like something one of our guys was working on. What I'm doing right here is known as a cheater coat. I'm using the crisp edge again with a thinned out bucket of resin just to backfill any little seepage that we had, saturation into the wood or fiberglass. Fills in that little bit. Might pop out any air bubbles we have, so that hot coat's gonna come out nice and smooth, and it's not gonna air. Or excuse me, gas. Sometimes the air's trying to escape and it pops out in bubbles. This will seal it all off real good so that that won't happen. You don't want that. That'll give you a little pinhole. A little pinhole means water's gonna get into your board.
Yeah. Now, when you said the bevel, for us novices out here, well, when we look at a squeegee, is there a way to tell the bevel and the straight?
Yeah, the one edge, it's crisp. It'll have like a 90-degree abrupt stop, and the opposite edge will be on an angle, bevel. The bevel's good for leaving a little bit of resin behind.
Okay. And the
it
90...
won't draw it out. The 90 will just squeeze and draw. So it depends on what you're doing, which side you want to use.
Part of practice and...
Yeah, it all works. You know, it's all about preference. Everyone's got different techniques. That's just one of mine.
So what do you recommend for like a beginner just trying to glass their board? Is to do what I did, just go and...
For a beginner, I recommend Sun Cure. Put Sun Cure activator in it so you have all the time in the world to work, and when you think you're ready, just stick it outside.
Yeah, just roll it out.
And, you know, stick it outside for 5 minutes and it's cure. You're not going to have to worry about dirt or anything getting stuck to it too bad.
Because I've seen people do it in their home garages, and I'm going, I don't know about that. I mean, even the guys that did it in their home garage looked like they knew what they were doing. You know?
Here I go with the hot coat, and I got a nice 4-inch brush, good fat brush, cleaned out with acetone. I squeegee it on rail to rail, nose to tail. I'm working on opposite sides of the board. Now I come back and cross it on a 90 from the rail to rail, and now I lightly try to take out any brush marks. Now in the hot coat you got a wax additive, otherwise you're not going to be able to sand the resin. This is the sanding coat of the board. And I call it hot coat too because it's got extra catalyst in it, so it fires off pretty fast. This is not something you can mess around with doing. This is a quick step. And that wax additive that you put in there called surfacing agent rises up and seals it off airtight so that the resin cures so that you can sand it. Without that, you're going to be gumming up a lot of paper.
Yeah, we're at the tail using a little bit of the excess.
Getting that little brush bristle out of there. That's what you get for using a cheap brush. I remember
we did this. I remember doing this, and I was checking while you were pulling. I was checking other spots. I'd be like, over here, over here,
yep,
over here. So what are we looking at for a curing time on the hot coat? I mean,
it'll
it's
gel within it if you activate it properly. Within 5 minutes of laying it down, that gives it just enough time to level out. That's what the surfacing agent does. It helps level everything out. You can see it's nice and smooth. And now, as soon as it gels, you peel the tape.
Because normal, you don't want to try to hot coat without that wax then. Because if you hot coat without that wax, and
you're just gonna get
that
sticky, tacky,
bumpy,
and it's bumpy, and it's gonna be sticky. Now this is a good sanding coat. We did an extra hot coat afterwards, all this, and James took the board and sanded it out real good. with 120 and cleaned it all off, and we came back and put a thin hot coat so that he could polish it out real good. And this is high quality, handcrafted, American made surfboard.
Oh yeah.
You know the tempo. You know the tempo. For
I think you're talking about something here.
I'm probably saying something, but don't matter much. Here we go in the other room. Putting it in the storage area.
Sporting our work duds. Yeah, another thing about glassing, don't wear your nice shoes or nice clothes. Oh, there's a little bit of the UV light.
Yeah, we're taking a suntan break.
I think we're working on some disco music now.
In a professional situation, that's a UV activation hood with ultraviolet lights to kick off the resin. We use that sometimes.
Oh, we're getting all trippy now.
Oh man, what happened? Oh, did you forget to pay the power bill again?
Yep. Alright, folks. We'll see you next time. Later.
Peace.
Y'all.